So today we are going to be discussing UFC fighters that are on the Naughty List. Now, for the most part, a majority of UFC fighters are pretty good people. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people that train MMA are like pretty good people for the most part, at least from what I know. I mean, obviously they don't really want you to know any of the negative things about them, but yeah, for the most part, I would say most of the people in UFC are pretty good people. However, there are some few exceptions, and there are a few people that, at least, maybe not me personally, but there are a few people that a lot of people hate for different reasons. A lot of them, the same reasons. And then today we will be discussing those people that are looked down upon in the UFC and their various reasons why, and why they are on Santa's Naughty List. So join me today and let's find out which UFC fighters are and are not on the Naughty List. So starting off with number 1, we're going to have Gene Silva. Now, I don't know if too many people are familiar with this whole thing. I mean, if you've watched Gene Silva's last few fights, if you watched his fight with Bryce Mitchell, then I'm sure you probably are aware. I know a lot of people don't always pay attention to too much stuff outside of the actual fights themselves. But if you are like a pretty, I don't know if I want to say hardcore, but like even if you're like a pretty casual UFC fan, if you're somebody that, I don't know. I guess I don't really know if casual is necessarily pay. I guess it depends on what you define a casual, but regardless, if you're somebody that pays attention to UFC, like at least just a little bit outside of like just watching the fights, then you probably know that Gene Silva, during his fight, up to his fight with Bryce Mitchell and during his fight with Bryce Mitchell, basically was attacking Bryce Mitchell because Bryce Mitchell had said some things about, I want to go fishing with a certain painter, etc., etc. He said some things that sounded very anti... I don't know if I really want to say the word. I don't really want to discuss this too much on YouTube because I don't want to get my videos taken down. But basically, Bryce Mitchell was saying some stuff that sounded like it was against a particular group of people and in support of a particular person in history that happened to be a painter with a certain mustache. Anyways, and I'm not saying Bryce Mitchell did support this man or did say things that were against these particular people. I'm just saying it was interpreted that way by some people, including Gene Silva, and so basically Gene Silva used that as a reason to like call out Bryce Mitchell and attack Bryce Mitchell. But not only that, it's not really so much about that. It's not only that he attacked Bryce Mitchell for that. Like, I can understand, and a lot of people can understand, like, building up a fight, right? There's one thing to build up a fight. But the thing is this isn't just about fight building when it comes to Gene Silva, along with some of these other people that I will discuss in this video. They quite literally support people that are doing terrible things. I don't want to get too graphic. I don't want to say too much because, again, I don't really want to get my videos taken down or anything. And I don't want to get labeled incorrectly, but basically, Gene Silva supports some pretty evil people, some Zionists, some people committing a genocide, so there's that, and he's pretty open about it, and he doesn't really seem to have, like, any reason to, to be honest, I probably should have looked into this a little bit more, but I don't know, from my understanding and most people's understanding, he basically just supports this evil people and is in support of this country that is doing evil things right now, which, not to say that the country itself is completely evil, but he's basically from another country, and he's going to support a country at a time when it's doing evil things, and it's like, why are you supporting another country? Like, you're Brazilian, and you're supporting this other country that's doing evil things at the time they're doing evil things. It's like, why would you want to do that? Yeah, I mean, like, unless you support those evil things that are going on. And that's kind of what it seems like. It seems like he kind of just supports evil Janice. So, yeah. There's that. And I don't know, it's one thing to support evil Janice, but the thing is, too, is he also, like, is so open and, like, public about it. And, like, I don't know. and then was like shitting on Bryce Mitchell for, I don't know, the stuff he said, which was really kind of like taken out of context. So yeah, Gene Silva is number one on the naughty list because he supports evil people that are, I don't want to say it, but they're committing the G word. So, and they're basically cleansing an entire group of people. So, yeah, Gene Silva supports evil people. I don't know if he really, I don't really know why, to be fair. A lot of people are manipulated into supporting these evil people. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't, but I don't know. I feel like at this point in time, you got to be pretty, ignorant and dumb. Which, I get he is a UFC fighter, so, and all these people are UFC fighters. So, yeah, I'm sure they're busy and they don't have time to really pay attention to, all this shit that well and stuff. I get it, and, especially with how manipulative some of these evil people are. These manipulative, people try to, conform people, they try to conform Christians, they try to geofence Christians, and, conform Christians into, Zionist, Christian, ideals and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to get too much into that again, but, so I don't really know exactly why he supports the evil people that he does, but regardless, he supports evil people, and I feel like you gotta be really fucking dumb and ignorant not to realize that you're supporting fucked up people. So, yeah. I don't know. I get there's two sides, but, I don't know. Just stick to supporting Brazil. And then number two, honestly, he probably should be number one, but I'm gonna put him at number two just because he's not as popular. But for the same reasons as Gene Silva, this dude, Michel Pereira, he's pretty much the same as Gene Silva. He supports these, evil people at the same time that they're doing evil things all over the world. These evil people, not only are they cleansing an entire area, but they also control a lot of other areas. They control my government through funding, etc. So yeah, again, I don't want to get too much into these specific evil people and stuff like that because I don't want to get my video taken off YouTube or anything like that. And this is the start of my YouTube channel. I don't want to fucking get myself shadow banned or shut down already. But yeah, basically, Michel Pereira supports the same evil people that Gene Silva does. You probably, if you follow me on Instagram and you're watching this video, because most of the people watching this video probably are coming from Instagram. Maybe not, I don't know. Maybe you just, found a random UFC video, but you probably know who I'm talking about. But yeah, so Michel Pereira, basically the same thing as Gene Silva. Honestly, he probably should be number one, though, because he really supports them the most, at least that I've seen. This dude literally, waves their flag around in, all of his fights now. He stopped, using the Brazil flag. He's literally waving their flag, all those shit. And he's honestly probably more supportive. But Gene Silva just, is the bigger name. So, and I feel like he kind of, even though, Michelle seems to show more support, just, Gene having a bigger name, I feel has more of an impact. So, I feel like I have to put him at number one. But yeah, Michel Pereira, and it's kind of funny, too, because, since, really coming out and, saying this shit, and, since he changed flags, he's just been on a losing streak and getting knocked out and stuff. So it's kind of funny. It's, he switched from Brazil to, the flag of these evil people. And again, not saying the entire country is evil, but the flag, at least right now, basically represents evil because of what their government's doing. So yeah, he switched to this evil flag, and they're just getting knocked out and fucked in all of his fights now, which it's kind of funny. And I've heard people say the same thing about Merab, and I was thinking about including Merab, but I'm not going to include Merab in this list because Merab did also put a half Georgian, half I don't know if I really even want to mention it because I don't want to, say they're evil and then get taken down off YouTube, but he put a half Georgian, half who flag on a fighter that he was cornering, and he basically got shit for it. But the reason I'm not going to include him in this video is because he actually came out and cleared himself and said that he doesn't support these evil people, he doesn't support any of the shit that's been going on in the world, etc. So yeah, I guess that could be kind of honorable mention though, is Merab. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny though. It seems like these people they really they clarify and show a bunch of support for these evil people, and this country whose government is doing terrible things right now, and then they immediately just get fucked right after. It's almost like they just get hit with the bad luck. Thankfully, I'm glad they do, because I love to see it. But yeah, Michelle Pereira, number 2. And then number 3, for the same reasons, is Michelle Rufy. But I put him at number 3 because even though he is, like, just as big of a name as, like, Gene, and, like, again, probably bigger than Michelle, like, I don't feel like a lot of people even realize that he's, like, sort of like Gene in the same way that he supports these same people and shows, like, open support for it. I guess he doesn't really as much as Gene, and because Gene, like, used it for the Bryce Mitchell fight and stuff. But, yeah, Mauricio Rufy, number 3. He's also on the naughty list because he also supports evil people. And then number 4, I'm going to put Mario Bautista. If you watched the Jose Aldo fight, then that is why. I hate Mario Bautista for what he did to Jose Aldo. That was a terrible fight. And I also just don't really like him. Like, I don't know. He just, like, he's never really seemed that crazy or, like, entertaining to me. Like, he's never really seemed like that good of a personality. Like, I don't know, not to say he has a shitty personality, but he just, like, I don't know, he just doesn't really seem that likable to me. And especially after that Aldo fight, I was like, fuck this dude. Like, I'm like, I can never like that dude after that. That's terrible to do that to Aldo. Like, dude, literally, they literally stopped the fight. Like, they literally pulled him off the fence because, like, the shit was so boring. That was all he was doing, and then he just, like, dove right back at Aldo into the same fucking thing. Like, it was I don't know. It was disgusting. So, yeah, fuck Mario Bautista. He's also on the naughty list. Another honorable mention, I guess, would be Nicholas Dalby, because he kind of did the same thing. But I actually kind of, I don't know. I can't really be mad at Dalby because, like, Dalby, I feel like it's chinny as fuck, and, like, he kind of has to do that. Like, he's had so many fights and stuff like that. And, like, I don't know, I was kind of surprised when Dalby did it, because the guy he did it to, I feel like, isn't really somebody you'd want to try to do that to. But I guess it makes sense, because Dalby's kind of chinny. He's probably just worried about getting dumped. So Dalby basically did the same thing, but I'm not going to put him in here because he did it to some Dagestani dude or something, I'm pretty sure. And Mario Batista did it to Aldo. And plus, like, it's not just that. I also just don't really like Mario Batista. So, yeah, that is another honorable mention. But obviously, I have to include John Jones in the naughty list. John Jones has been a super naughty boy. Everybody has seen that video of him with Hasbulla. Who knows what goes on with John Jones and Dana White, along with other random men, like, in Thailand and stuff like that. I'm just saying, kind of suspect. But not only that, but some suspicious stuff goes down with him and his wife. I pray for his wife, let me just say that. And not only that, but, you know, there's like the arrest videos of him getting drunk and doing weird stuff, probably on drugs. And speaking of drugs, he's probably also a steroid cheat. So, yeah, there's that. But again, hey, I'm not saying any of this stuff is officially true, just speculation and stuff I've heard from other people. I'm not saying any of this stuff myself. Same thing with any of these people on this list. Just to clarify, YouTube and anybody listening to this, I particularly am not saying any of this shit myself. This is all just stuff I've heard from the internet and, just other people. So, yeah. So don't sue me, John Jones. Don't sue me, Gene Silva, any of these people. I don't mean any disrespect. I am simply just, bringing up stuff that I've heard in the MMA scene. So, yeah. That's going to be my list, though. We got Gene Silva, Michelle Pereira, Mauricio Rufy, Mario Batista. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Have a Merry Christmas. Let me know who you guys think should be on the naughty list. And, yeah. Peace.